Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Yes, thanks God, it's Friday. Yes, we are almost going to the weekend. Yep. But before we join the weekend vibes, let's join the fifth panel of 2022 hybrid winter course. And today we will discuss about socio-economic-cultural response during pandemic. And today we also have honorable speaker from one of most favorite person in Indonesia, I think, Mr. Sandiaga Uno. And then we also have the head of Yogyakarta Special Regional Development Planning Agency, Mr. Beny Suharsono, and also one of our lecturer from Faculty of Economics and Business, Universitas Gadjah Mada, Pak Rimawan Pradiptyo, Ph.D. And to commemorate this session, I would like to invite one of our lecturer from Department of Basic and Emergency Nursing, Faculty of Medicine, Public Health and Nursing, Universitas Gadjah Mada, Ibu Aryani Arista Putri Pertiwi, DNP. And here's her profile. Yeah. Good morning, Bu Aryani.
Good morning, Yopi. How are you?
I'm very good, Bu Aryani, because it's Friday and tomorrow is Saturday.
Yes,
yeah?
always exciting to have Friday, right?
Yep, Bu Aryani, before we start this panel, can you give some brief information about this panel?
All right, I think today will be very exciting for us because it's kind of different field from most of the participants of the winter course background. I know that most of the participants come from health provider field, but today, this morning, we are going to discuss about social, economic, and culture of our community. So that will be exciting.
Okay, so before we start the panel, don't forget to be active in your e-log because there is a forum discussion for panel 5. Yes. You can type and you can put your opinion regarding to this topic. Without further ado, let's start the fifth panel. Bu Aryani.
All right, thank you so much, Yopi, our brilliant Master of Ceremony as always. Good morning, everyone. Good day. I hope you are enjoying the winter course. This is the 5th day, and I believe that you already learned a lot of topics that you learned from the very first day, right? And it's kind of various topics. And today, we are going to learn about the situation of Indonesian community in social, economic, and culture situation. And as our MC mentioned a while ago, that we will have 3 excellent speakers. And I'm going to start with the first speaker. He is Mr. Sandiaga Salahuddin Uno. He is the minister of He is in the Office of Ministry of Tourism and Creative Economy, but unfortunately he is not together with us today. But he will give us important information and message about what is happening in Indonesian community today. So before we listen to what his message, I would like to introduce you, but I believe most of us Indonesian know him. He is one of our brilliant entrepreneur here, and now he is the minister. So Mr. Sandiaga Salahuddin Uno, he is our Minister of Tourism and Creative Economy. After graduating, he worked for several companies and rose in rank before founding his own business. We know that he owns many business. The beginning of his business career began with the work of investment manager in MP Group Holding Limited. The following year, he began working for NTI Resources Ltd in Canada as the executive vice president. Nowadays, he is well-known entrepreneur and has been president director of PT Saratoga Investama Sedia Tbk, PT Mitra Global Telekomunikasi Indonesia, Floor Enterprises Limited, PT Lintas Marga Sedaya, and Atika Finance Limited. He also served as Vice President of Small and Medium Enterprises at the Indonesian Chamber of Commerce and Industry from 2009 to 2010, and as the chairman of the Indonesian Young Entrepreneurs Association from 2005 to 2008. So yeah, unfortunately he is not together with us today. Here we go, Mr. Minister from the Office of the Ministry of Tourism and Creative Economy Office.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Warmest greeting to you all from Jakarta, Indonesia. Thank you for inviting me to participate in this event. It is a great pleasure for me to be speaking today from the Ministry of Tourism and Creative Economy Office, particularly in these challenging times. Ladies and gentlemen, the emergence of Omicron local transmissions in several regions in Indonesia will be a new challenge for the government, the industry, and the healthcare staff. The weeks or maybe the months to come will be difficult. However, Indonesia is stronger and better prepared than a year ago. We are headed in the right directions, and the government will continue its support for vulnerable groups and begin providing booster vaccines to the general public. In this turbulent time of upheaval, the goals of government of Indonesia are to alleviate the crisis, restart development, and lay a strong basis for a more prosperous future that is better prepared for crises such as COVID-19. We must not surrender and must seize the opportunity to take a leap. This is a momentum for reform, transformations, and building a more robust and resilient ecosystem, continuously encouraging the 3G basis for developing tourism and creative economy. Gercep, gerak cepat, move fast. Geber, gerak bersama, move together. And gaspol, garap semua potensi. Move and uncover all the potentials. Gerak cepat, we must have the agility to decide adequate policies as solutions for the sector. Geber, gerak bersama, highlights the importance of working together and ensuring that no one will be left behind, as these sectors are multi-sectoral and intertwined with each other. Lastly, Gaspol, encourage leaders to work on all potential factors for success in creating job opportunities and empowerment of micro, small, medium enterprises in the tourism and creative economy. We must increase our adaptability, establish clear priorities based on evidence and data-driven, what works and what does not, and improve onwards. Regarding the 2022 winter course, I hope that Indonesian students will gather useful insights from their international counterparts while also promoting the uniqueness of Indonesian culture. Hopefully, this event will grant Indonesian students unique perspectives on being more competitive and seeing opportunities to succeed in an increasingly challenging, competitive environment. I thank you all. Wabillahi taufiq walhidayah. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Wonderful Indonesia.
All right, that is the important information and message from the Mr. Ministry, Pak Sandi. I believe you hear about 3Gs. That's a very interesting abbreviation. Gercep, what else? Gercep, geber, and gaspol. Move fast, move together, and move and uncover all of the potential. I'm sure this will be very interesting discussion after this. This is, and also I aware his message to all of you Indonesian students and also our foreign partners that you need to learn each other and move forward. All right, let's move to our second speaker. He also unfortunately cannot come together with us in this room this morning. I would like to greet first Mr. Beny. Are you there? Yeah, he is joining us through Zoom. Is he there? Where should I See him? Hello, Pak Beny.
Halo.
Yes. Apa kabar Pak Beny? Oh, there you go.
Assalamualaikum
Selamat
warahmatullahi
pagi Pak Beny. Terima kasih sudah
wabarakatuh.
hadir.
Mbak Ariani, terima kasih sudah mengundang kami. Kami sengaja menggunakan bahasa Indonesia, Mbak Ariani, supaya teman-teman peserta kursus yang dari luar Indonesia bisa membumi ke satu satuan dengan kami dengan menggunakan bahasa Indonesia. Terima kasih, Mbak Ariani.
Baik, terima kasih banyak Pak Beny sudah meluangkan waktu bersama kami di sini pagi hari ini. Sebelum Pak Beny memulai presentasinya, before he present his material, I would like to read his profile. So, Bapak Dr. Andes Beny Suharsono, Master of Science, was born in Serampong on May 12, 1965. He plunged into his governmental career in 1986 as Yogyakarta Special Regional Secretariat Personnel Bureau staff. He also achieved some prestigious positions in the same place, such as head of subdivision of Civil Service Bureau and head of subdivision for Position Transfer Civil Service Bureau. Years later, he joined Badan Perencanaan Pembangunan Daerah, or we call it Development Planning Agency of the Special Region of Indonesia. His career in Bapeda, Special Region in Yogyakarta, continues to thrive as head of that office. He served as Secretary of the Special Region of Yogyakarta, House of Representatives. Currently, he is as the head of Bapeda. Oke, Pak Beny, monggo waktu disilahkan kepada Pak Beny. Time is yours.
Terima kasih Mbak Ariani. Kami sebelumnya Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Sangat berbahagia sekali dan berbangga hati kami diundang untuk menjadi bagian yang tidak terpisahkan dari penyelenggaraan WinterCourse 2022 ini. Kami di Bapeda DIY mempunyai tugas antara lain mengawal pencapaian visi pembangunan Daerah Istimewa Yogyakarta 2025-2025. Sebagaimana diamanatkan di dalam Peraturan Daerah Nomor 2 Tahun 2009 tentang Rencana Pembangunan Jangka Panjang Daerah 2005-2025, di mana DIY Daerah Istimewa Yogyakarta meneguhkan ingin mencapai di tahun 2025 sebagai pusat pendidikan, pusat budaya, dan daerah tujuan terkemuka di Asia Tenggara dalam lingkungan masyarakat maju, mandiri, dan sejahtera. Tentu vision ini tidak bakalah terjadi manakala semua komponen yang ada di DIY, termasuk para mahasiswa yang berada di Yogyakarta, menjadi bagian bersama-sama dengan pemangku kepentingan yang lain mewujudkan visi ini agar 2025 Indonesia, terutama di Yogyakarta, mampu menjadi pusat pendidikan, budaya, dan tujuan pariwisata terbuka di Asia Tenggara. Topik pagi hari ini yang diminta kepada kami berkenaan dengan bagaimana kondisi penanganan pandemik dan terjadinya pandemik sampai kami harus mampu tumbuh berkembang perekonomian di DIY. Sebagai gambaran bahwa kami mengalami fluktuatif di pertumbuhan ekonomi, kalau kita melihat perbandingan triwulan ke triwulan, kita lihat waktu tahun 2018-2019 penyelesaian konstruksi Bandara Internasional Yogyakarta mampu bertahan menembus angka pertumbuhan ekonomi di kisaran 6,77%. Tentu ini sangat membanggakan, membahagiakan karena adanya bangunan konstruksi di sana. Tetapi mari kita lihat perkembangan berikutnya di awal tahun 2020 kemarin, pengumuman terjadinya pandemik, mulai terasa sekali pertumbuhan ekonomi DIY mengalami kontraksi yang luar biasa. Di kuartal pertama saja sudah kontraksinya adalah atau minus 0,31, yang semula tumbuh ekonominya mampu mencapai 6,77%. Berikutnya terjadi proses yang luar biasa, pandemik sangat kuat, dan di DIY kemudian di kuartal kedua tahun 2020 dilaksanakan PSBB Jawa Bali, pertumbuhan ekonomi mengalami kontraksi yang luar biasa lagi, yaitu minus 6,88. Kemudian diambil langkah-langkah strategis, salah satunya adalah pelaksanaan vaksinasi yang harus dilakukan di awal mulai dengan tahun 2021 kemarin. Lihat perkembangannya, dari minus 6,88 di kuartal kedua, kemudian kuartal ketiga mampu tumbuh tapi masih minus 2,98. Kemudian di kuartal terakhir, akhir tahun 2020, mampu tumbuh 0,68. Jadi tumbuh tapi masih minus. Dari minus 6,88 sampai akhir tahun tumbuh minus 0,68. Kemudian awal tahun 2021 masih dilaksanakan vaksinasi, protokol kesehatan diperketat, kemudian semua menggunakan tracing testing, mulai tumbuh di kuartal 1 5,8. Jadi dari minus 0,8 mampu tumbuh 5,8. Kemudian di kuartal kedua ini juga buah karya bersama semua komponen yang ada di DIY mampu tumbuh tertinggi se-Jawa. Pertumbuhan ekonominya di 11,81. Tetapi di kuartal ketiga mengalami penurunan lagi karena ada yang dulu disebut dengan PSBB lalu bergeser menjadi namanya PPKM gitu. Turun lagi menjadi tumbuh 2,3. Inilah proses antara perkembangan perekonomian ketika awal terjadi pandemi dan kemudian dilakukan penanggulangan pandemi, fluktuatifnya begitu nyata. Sebetulnya cakupan vaksinasi sampai dengan 23 Januari kemarin, total vaksinasi untuk dosis 1 itu sudah melebihi target 100% berupa 100,875%. Artinya yang sudah tersasar tidak hanya penduduk yang asli Jogja, yang ber-KTP Jogja, tetapi masyarakat semua yang menggunakan fasilitas pelayanan kesehatan di Jogja dilayani, sehingga persentasenya melebihi dari 100%. Kemudian yang dosis kedua, ini sudah mencapai 92,02%. Artinya apa, teman-teman semua, bahwa salah satu game changernya adalah kita harus masif melakukan vaksinasi penanganan pandemi COVID-19. Sementara perkembangan kasus terberat yang pernah dialami di Jogja adalah paruh di pertengahan 2021 dan akhir kemarin di tahun 2020. Nah, sekarang sudah mulai landai, menuju ke landai sangat terkendali, tapi muncul bentuk baru namanya adalah Omikron. Ya, ini kemudian sedang diwaspadai betul, kita siap-siap untuk menuju penanggulangan Omikron, ya, yang sebetulnya juga kasusnya masih landai di Jogja. Dampak yang sangat terasa pandemi ini, Mas, adalah terhadap perekonomian daerah. Utamanya yang pertama berkenaan dengan ketenagakerjaan. Jadi sampai terjadi pengangguran maupun pekerja yang dirumahkan baik sektor formal maupun informal. Ya, jadi terasa sekali di dunia tenaga kerja pandemik ini berpengaruh. Kemudian dari sektor pariwisata yang nanti menjadi diskusi khusus, ini sampai terhentinya aktivitas pariwisata karena sebenarnya tidak ditutup, tetapi karena memang harus dilakukan penanganan yang ekstra hati-hati di objek wisata, maka terhentinya aktivitas pariwisata, pembatalan kunjungan wisata, berhentinya kegiatan industri pariwisata, dan semua turunan akibat terhentinya pariwisata ini. Dari sektor pertanian terjadi oversupply karena sangat menurunnya permintaan atas produk petani dan peternak, sehingga para petani dan peternak mengalami kesulitan pemasaran dan utamanya adalah permintaan yang sangat menurun. Demikian juga perikanan dan kelautan. Dari sisi produksi terjadi peningkatan produksi, tetapi permintaan pasar itu sangat turun sehingga hasil panen tidak bisa diserap karena penurunan permintaan pasar. Akibatnya terjadi oversupply produk. Dari sisi koperasi UMKM, ya koperasi tentu akan mengalami penurunan likuiditas karena permintaannya sangat anjlok gitu. Kunjungan-kunjungan akibat dari distribusi UMKM yang menopang pariwisata juga menurun sangat tajam, sehingga kenaikan diakibatkan juga kenaikan bahan baku dan penurunan permintaan penyebab produksi UMKM menurun, sehingga banyak pekerja yang harus merumahkan pekerjaannya. Dari sisi industri dan perdagangan terjadi penjualan menurun, omset menurun, kemudian produknya berkurang, bahkan sampai berhenti tidak berproduksi. Pada sisi lain harga baku naik. Sebetulnya dari dampak pandemi ini juga sangat terasa pada sektor pendidikan. Ya, pendidikan tidak ada pendidikan tatap muka, sehingga semua turunan akibat terhentinya tanda kutip proses pendidikan yang bergeser dari luring ke daring, maka turunan dari sektor pendidikan itu sangat terasa. Jadi produk-produk yang berkaitan dengan dukungan terhadap pelajar mahasiswa itu sangat-sangat menurun. Dari dampak pandemi terhadap perekonomian ini, tentu ini sangat berdampak terhadap pariwisata pada umumnya. Kita lihat perkembangan jumlah wisatawan mancanegara dan wisatawan Nusantara ya dari tahun ke tahun. Wisman di 2020 hanya 69,96%, seterusnya hampir menuju ke titik nol sebetulnya itu. Ya, artinya sangat menurun sangat drastis. Demikian juga dengan wisatawan Nusantara yang di tahun 2019 mampu menghadirkan 6 juta sekian, 2020 hanya 1,778. Di tahun 2021 sampai dengan pertengahan 2021 belum kelihatan menggeliatnya. Hanya di akhir kemarin tahun 2021 mulai menggeliat karena kita sudah mengetahui kapasitas penanganan pandemi. Kemudian termasuk di dalamnya adalah berkaitan dengan vaksinasi yang sudah melebihi standar yang diharapkan. Kemudian kalau kita lihat dari tingkat penghunian kamar, persentasenya di 2029 itu rata sekitar 60% atau 58,91. Di 2020 nyaris di bawah 30%, terutama di hotel non bintang ya. Kemudian di hotel berbintang sekitar 34,16. Ini jumlah tamu yang menginap bisa akun pada 2020 berkurang sekitar 70% karena tadi tingkat huniannya juga sangat menurun. Ini dengan segala turunannya. Ini berdampak langsung terhadap industri dan pelaku kegiatan pariwisata dan berdampak pada industri pendukung terutama di rantai nilai dari kegiatan pariwisata. Jadi satu sektor pariwisata berhenti itu di belakangnya turunannya bisa 10 sampai 15 sektor yang ikut tertahan atau berhenti. Ini fakta yang dialami DIY ketika salah satu tujuan tadi di Vision 2025-2025 ingin mewujudkan DIY sebagai pusat, salah satunya adalah pariwisata terkemuka di Asia Tenggara. Tidak hanya berdampak pada sisi pariwisata, tapi juga berdampak langsung pada kesejahteraan masyarakat. Ini tingkat kemiskinan kita meningkat, walaupun kalau kita bandingkan dari Maret 17, September 11, terusnya sampai September mengalami penurunan, sehingga secara gradual ini meningkat. Dulu di angka 12,08% meningkat menjadi 12,81% kemiskinan di DIY. Demikian juga tingkat pengangguran terbukanya dulu di angka Februari 2020 di 3,4% dari kapasitas tenaga kerja di DIY, meningkat menjadi 4,6% pengangguran terbuka di DIY. Sehingga pandemi memang sangat berdampak terhadap peningkatan kemiskinan dan juga berakibat ke peningkatan pengangguran di DIY. Dari kacamata inilah pemerintah Daerah Istimewa Yogyakarta berupaya melakukan penanganan pandemi COVID yang bersama-sama dengan semua stakeholder, baik dari birokrasi, dari stakeholder yang lain, dari akademisi dan sebagainya, kemudian juga dari NGO bahu-membahu menangani pandemi COVID-19 di DIY dengan melakukan 3 langkah. Yang pertama adalah penanganan kesehatan, penanganan dampak ekonomi, dan lalu menyediakan jaring pengaman sosial. Sebagai contoh, untuk penanganan kesehatan dilakukan operasional posko terpadu penanganan COVID, ya, supaya informasinya, akurasi informasinya itu benar. Masyarakat mencari informasi tentang penanganan kesehatan itu benar dan cepat terlayani. Kemudian melakukan dukungan penerapan protokol kesehatan untuk masyarakat melalui pengadaan logistik kesehatan. Jadi masif APBD DIY dilakukan realokasi dan refocusing terhadap anggaran untuk penanganan protokol kesehatan bagi masyarakat berupa berbagai macam bantuan tentang peralatan-peralatan kesehatan, sehingga melakukan pengadaan peralatan kesehatan, misalnya ada ginos, kemudian oksigen portable, tabung oksigen, kantong nafas, dan seterusnya. Kemudian juga melakukan vaksinasi massal, ya, masif dari berbagai macam dilakukan, bahu-membahu bersama-sama dengan seluruh komponen masyarakat yang ada di DIY, dan dibantu juga dari luar DIY. Kemudian juga penting karena ini untuk menyadarkan bersama-sama perlu penegakan hukum penerapan protokol kesehatan. Jadi menjaga jarak, menghindari kerumunan itu menjadi bagian dari penegakan hukum penerapan protokol kesehatan. Kemudian pengadaan peralatan untuk tracing dan testing. Ya, kita membantu peralatan untuk tracing dan testing untuk rumah sakit, yankes, sampai ke level di puskesmas. Kemudian bantuan kesehatan untuk masyarakat, misalnya membantu masker, multivitamin, kemudian ada hazmat, ada oximeter. Kemudian juga pengadaan oksigen generator, ya, sekarang siap, dulu karena kita sampai terjadi kelangkaan oksigen gitu, di Jogja, sehingga kita sama-sama sangat riuh rendah tentang kelangkaan oksigen di DIY itu. Sekarang oksigennya siap, ready, bisa digunakan dan kita gratiskan. Kemudian dukungan operasional gedung isolasi terpadu. Jadi kita melakukan isolasi terpadu sampai ke level kalurahan. Pada sisi yang lain dilakukan juga penanganan dampak ekonomi, karena tadi kooperasinya terpuruk, kemudian juga menurunnya likuiditas. Kita melakukan penanganan pemberdayaan koperasi, ya, dengan pemberian alat produksi, pelatihan, dan seterusnya. Terus membantu juga mempromosikan produk lokal dengan subsidi ongkir. Jadi Bapak semua teman-teman, bila belanja di UMKM DIY yang sudah terstandarisasi, tinggal klik saja, namanya sistemnya Sibakul, maka ongkos kirimnya itu adalah yang membayari pemerintah DIY. Kemudian peningkatan kapasitas dalam penerapan protokol kesehatan di tempat pariwisata dan kegiatan ekonomi. Jadi dipastikan semua objek wisata sudah menerapkan CHSE, ya, Cleaning, Health, Environment, dan Safety. Ini utamanya akan dilakukan dan terus harus dilakukan. Kemudian juga dilakukan dukungan pemulihan ekonomi untuk misalnya kelompok sadar wisata, desa wisata, ya, kemudian juga koperasi berkenaan dengan proses imbal balik dari berlakunya level PPKM di DIY. Pada sisi yang lain memang harus disediakan jaring pengaman sosial, ya, karena tadi tidak bisa berproduksi, tidak ada pendapatan, sehingga tidak bisa punya daya beli, maka dilakukan bantuan sosial. Juga dilakukan pemberian makanan tambahan, bantuan modal, bantuan usaha, karena tadi modal usahanya kan sudah habis bertahan untuk hidup, gitu, karena tidak ada supply and demand yang terjadi, maka kita memberikan bantuan-bantuan usaha untuk penguatan. Juga bantuan padat karya infrastruktur, ya, supaya ada pendapatan bagi masyarakat karena peluang kerjanya tutup, dirumahkan, dan sebagainya. Kemudian fasilitas bantuan sosial untuk kesejahteraan keluarga. Teman-teman semua, Bapak yang kami hormati, tentu ini juga tidak cukup upaya-upaya penanganan ini. Perlu strategi bagaimana mampu memulihkan ekonomi. Ya, nanti ekonominya mulai tumbuh, kemudian penanggulangan COVID-nya makin melandai gitu, bukan berarti kita berhenti, tapi harus melakukan strategi di mana dampak pandemi ini salah satunya adalah berdampak pada pemulihan ekonomi. Pertama, kami upayakan melakukan pencegahan terhadap penyebaran kasus seperti dengan melakukan akselerasi vaksinasi yang sekarang sudah pada tataran vaksinasi booster. Ya, booster itu juga sudah kita lakukan, kemudian sasarannya kepada anak-anak sekolah yang sudah diizinkan, ya ini sudah kita lakukan akselerasi vaksinasi. Jadi vaksinasi sudah pada tataran tahap ketiga, dosis 1, dosis 2, dan sekarang adalah di booster. Memastikan penerapan SOP atau protokol kesehatan dilakukan dengan benar di tempat kegiatan ekonomi. Ya, jadi contohnya penggunaan masker dengan benar ya. Sering kita menemui pakai masker malah ditutupkan di kepala gitu ya, tidak ditutupkan di tempat pernafasan ya, dan seterusnya. Kemudian pembukaan kegiatan ekonomi atau kegiatan usaha dilakukan dengan melihat sektor atau jenis usaha dan risiko terhadap paparan COVID. Jadi yang kegiatan-kegiatan ekonomi, kegiatan usaha dilakukan dengan melihat sektor atau jenis usaha, karena tadi Omikronnya datang lagi gitu, sehingga harus tetap menjaga, menghindari kerumunan dan sebagainya. Kemudian melakukan pemanfaatan pasar digital atau transaksi daring. Termasuk ini juga kami lakukan untuk sektor UMKM, ekonomi kecil. Kita bantu betul bagaimana memanfaatkan pasar digital melalui transaksi daring. Kemudian memastikan kelancaran distribusi barang dan komoditas strategis. Ya, biasanya berkait dengan sembako ini. Jadi jangan sampai kelangkaan ini terjadi, maka harga membumbung itu. Sehingga daya beli makin menurun, maka kemiskinan makin meningkat. Kemudian mengalokasikan kegiatan belanja pemerintah untuk stimulus ekonomi lokal. Jadi kami lakukan realokasi, refocusing program kegiatan pemerintah daerah untuk stimulus ekonomi lokal. Ini berbagai macam strategi pemulihan ekonomi untuk kita punya daya saing. Dan apa yang harus kami lakukan dengan pengembangan pariwisata pasca ini, pengertiannya adalah karena tadi catatannya makin melandai gitu, makin melandai dengan pengalaman hampir 2 tahun kita terkena dampak pandemi Covid 2020 dan 2021 kemarin, maka penggeseran dari mass tourism ke quality tourism. Ya. Ada 2 strategi di situ. Bagaimana kita menggeser dari mass tourism ke quality tourism, yaitu kita melihat dari supply and demand-nya. Jadi dari sisi supply, kita akan melihat bagaimana destinasinya, bagaimana industrinya, bagaimana pelakunya. Misalnya, dari sisi supply, kita harus punya daya saing atau berdaya saing. Ya. Lingkungan pendukungnya, kebijakan pendukungnya. Jangan sampai satu objek, karena ini rebutan pasca pandemi itu, maka terus ada berbagai macam objek yang dikelola oleh berbagai macam unit organisasi ini, kebijakannya tidak mendukung. Kemudian infrastruktur lain pendukungnya, termasuk atraksi-atraksi yang mendukung. Kemudian bagaimana kami mengelola pengelolaan ini menjadi lebih berkualitas ya. Kami melakukan sustainable management, kemudian melestarikan budaya, melestarikan lingkungannya itu sendiri. Nah, ini dampaknya bisa mensejahterakan masyarakat. Jadi bagaimana dengan permintaan ya, dengan demand-nya itu ya, terutama bagi wisatawan. Tentu akhir tujuan dari orang berwisata merasa puas gitu ya, merasa tercukupkan apa yang dia menjadi berwisata itu. Ya, pertama adalah kami harus memberikan pengalaman yang unik ya. Dia tidak menemukan pengalaman ketika berwisata di Jogja, tidak menemukan pengalaman di tempat lain, sehingga dia akan kembali lagi dengan rombongan-rombongan yang besar, akan kembali lagi dengan waktu yang lebih panjang. Bagaimana kami mensajikan atraksi yang lebih unik, lebih hospitality gitu. Kemudian juga harus memberikan nilai tambah yang berkualitas. Bagaimana atraksi pendukungnya, bagaimana pelayanan dan akomodasinya. Inilah kami lakukan strategi dari tadi, bagaimana kami menanggulangi penanganan pandemi COVID yang berdampak pada ekonomi, sehingga harus menggeser pola relasi dari yang tadinya berorientasi mass tourism ke quality tourism. Nah, inilah Bapak, lalu kami membuat faktor-faktor kunci bagaimana kami mengembangkan quality tourism. Ya, di situ ada kami punya faktor dasar, ya kita punya daya tarik alam dan budaya, kemudian masyarakat yang mendukung, kemudian ada sustainability, pemanfaatan ekonomi lokal, ada pelestarian budaya, kemudian kami juga mampu menjual keunikan, itu perlukan ada hospitality, ada daya tarik wisata sendiri, kemudian ini yang menjadi gugahan utama adalah ada pengalaman yang bernilai tinggi atau high value. Ketika seseorang berwisata di DIY akan terkenang sepanjang masanya, kemudian dia ingin kangen kembali ke Jogja karena memiliki pengalaman yang bernilai tinggi. Jadi tidak hanya sekedar lewat lalu melihat, tapi betul-betul pada tataran menikmati Yogyakarta. Ya tentu kami harus memberikan dukungan. Ada beberapa aspek yang memang masih perlu diakselerasi di DIY. Misalnya berkenaan dengan infrastruktur dasar. Jadi kalau orang mau wisata ke Gunung Kidul macet sampai objek tidak sampai, malah di jalan macet lebih lama. Nah ini menjadi perhatian yang sangat serius dari Pemda DIY tentang aspek yang masih perlu diakselerasi DIY. Termasuk di dalamnya pelestarian lingkungan, masih perlu dipompa tentang keunikan event, kemudian pengelolaan yang berkelanjutan, sampai dengan bagaimana pelayanan yang berbasis pengalaman itu yang akhirnya ada tataran yang sampai premium, sehingga orang datang ke Jogja itu punya rasa tersendiri yang tidak didapat di daerah atau objek lain yang pernah ia kunjungi di daerah yang lain. Sebagai penutup, Bu Ani, bahwa pandemik memang berdampak secara langsung terhadap perekonomian lokal DIY, sehingga salah satu kegiatan pariwisata secara sangat signifikan mengalami kontraksi yang sangat dalam. Ya, jadi tadi tabelnya sudah saya sampaikan, kunjungan wisatawan baik mancanegara maupun Nusantara mengalami penurunan yang sangat-sangat tajam, sehingga berdampak kepada semua turunannya, akomodasinya berhenti, wisatanya berhenti, anggotanya berhenti, dan seterusnya. Kemudian juga harus dilakukan pencegahan peningkatan kasus COVID itu menjadi syarat kegiatan ekonomi yang bisa bergeliat kembali. Jadi ini tentu tidak ada dikotomi di antara peningkatan ekonomi dengan kesehatan. Dua-duanya harus dilakukan. Maka harus digeser pola relasinya menjadi living in harmony dengan pandemi, yang kemudian orang bicaranya sudah pada tataran endemi. Yang terakhir, bahwa pandemi memang membawa perubahan dalam kegiatan ekonomi DIY. Ya, kita tahu arah pengembangan pariwisatanya tidak lagi mengandalkan pariwisata yang bersifat massal, namun harus mengarah ke wisata yang berkualitas. Demikian Bu Ani, teman-teman semua yang dapat kami sampaikan, mudah-mudahan menjadi tematik diskusi winter course pada pagi hari ini. Terima kasih, kurang lebihnya mohon maaf. Kami akhiri. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Matur nuwun sangat Pak Beny. Thank you very much. Pak Beny mohon berkenan untuk stay dulu, nanti kita akan diskusi di akhir session. Baik, so for our friends out there, Mr. Beny already explained to us very important information about what has been happening here in Yogyakarta during the pandemic. We know that COVID-19 pandemic impact every aspect of the community lives, from economic, social, and culture. He mentioned about in the economic there are differences in supplies and demands. The community people have difficulties and challenges. The production cost and supply in one side is increased, but on the other side demands is decreased. So that's really become a challenge for our community. And in the tourism, people, of course, are not coming to Yogyakarta, and in this issue, there are another issues and problems related to these tourism issues and problems. But now Yogyakarta in this, specifically the Yogyakarta Development Planning Agencies, they are doing many preparation for this post-pandemic situation in health aspect, economic, and also in the tourism. Mr. Beny mentioned about in the health aspect, there are acceleration of vaccination. In the tourism, he mentioned about quality tourism. So it's kind of innovation, different tourism innovation than before. So Yogyakarta community should give the tourism experience to the visitors and make the visitors satisfied. The uniqueness of Yogyakarta should be explored, and many things that he already explained to us, very important information. Okay, I hope that gives you very fruitful information. And now let's move to our third speaker. He is one of our beloved lecturer here from the Faculty of Economic and Business, a senior lecturer. He is Bapak Rimawan Pradiptyo, Ph.D. He is head of the Department of Economics in the Faculty of Economics and Business at Universitas Gadjah, Mada. He has an interest in research related to economics of crime, game theory. Oh, I know a little bit about game theory, Pak. It's interesting. And experimental economics and impact evaluation. Proceeding from his knowledge and experiences, he is also chosen as a resource person for Presidential Task Force for combating illegal fishing for the Ministry of Marine Affairs and Fisheries of Indonesia. Furthermore, there are several prestigious positions that he achieved. For instance, he was chosen as a resource person for the Corruption Eradication Commission, Chief Economist of the Competition Commission, and Research Fellow at the Center for Criminal Justice Economics and Psychology at the University of York in the United Kingdom. Please welcome Bapak Rimawan. Time is yours.
Thank you. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, thank you for inviting me to this event, this wonderful event. And I would like to share about our experience in developing and also operating the social capital. It's called SONJO. SONJO is abbreviation of Sambatan Jogja. And please, can you put my materials, please? Okay, so the SONJO, or the Sambatan Jogja, this is the form of the social capital that we developed since 24th of March 2020. This is the direct reaction towards the COVID that was occurred at that time. The government announced that we have that the COVID has already in Indonesia on the 2nd of March. And then we tried to form the SONJO on the 24th of March. And until now, we're still operating. And the good news is that you don't need any money to develop this kind of initiative. So on the 24th of March 2020, our account is 0 rupiah, no money at all. And up until now, we're still in 0 rupiah. So, so there's no money needed, for this kind of initiative. Okay, so how do we see, this is the most important thing, and when you trying to see, why is it that we can have a movement like SONJO? The most important thing is how we perceive a phenomenon. Yeah? When we see the phenomenon, then the question is that how do we perceive that? The way we perceive it, it will affect to the what would we do for reacting towards the phenomenon. So the way we see the COVID is this is like the nature change. The nature here this is a game theoretical terminology. It means this is the state of the world. So this is the environment in which we make a decision. When the environment of making a decision change, then you have to change accordingly. You have to adapt everything that you have in order to conform to the new nature or state of the world. So in the old days, we have a pre-COVID whereby the mobility is a big mobility and the crowd are the backbone of the economy. But then when you come up to the COVID, you cannot do that any longer. Okay, so you have to think alternatively on how to still moving the economy, and at the same time, because we have a problem with the health problem, then the question is that how can we help or assist people in when they face a problem in health? Okay, so this is the situation that we have. And one thing that's most important is not the COVID itself, but what would happen after the COVID. This is the most important thing. Because after the COVID, we will face with another new nature or state of the world. And the new state of the world is basically prone to the blue or green economy. We talk about the equality and also the sustainability. That will be a new norm in the future. Okay, so I learned from this from many colleagues in health, and that they said the problem with the pandemic is not if, but when. But then another question that we need to raise is that as a consequence that kind of question, not if but when, is that in the future we will face another probably a series of pandemic. We don't know as yet. It's probably will repeat after 5 years or 10 years, or we never know. But then the question is that how we have the response on that. That is the most important thing. So if we see the situation in this kind of phenomena, then we may think that in the future we will have probably the cooperation, the global solution. So the pandemic needs a global solution, and in the future there is a possibility that we have the international cooperation on dealing with it. Okay? Now, back again, how do we perceive the pandemic is very important on how will we react towards the pandemic itself. The way we see it, the pandemic is not disaster, but it is a war. A war that we cannot see the enemy. And the enemy is actually within ourselves, because the COVID cannot cannot be transformed anywhere else except that we do mobility. So this is very very interesting to see it. So that we see COVID as a common enemy. And if the COVID is common enemy, there's only one thing that you can do to tackle the COVID, is that we have to work together. Okay? So we see the COVID as something like a public goods, but in a negative term. Yeah. And in this circumstances, we have a word by Ali bin Abi Thalib, and he said, "To delay is to lose." Before the pandemic, I have a different perception about this word, "to delay is to lose." After the COVID, that's 180 degrees my perception, because we faced the first wave and the second wave of a COVID in Indonesia, and we worked through Sonjo, and we witnessed it. So many people died. Because of what? Because they are late in telling people or to report to the task force that they suffer from COVID. It's just a matter of time that you're reluctant to report to the authority, people may die because of that. So, what are the most important thing, reaction in this? We have only 3 principles. First is expect the unexpected in terms of the impact of the pandemic. The second one is we thinking innovatively in terms of the solution, and the most important one is the last one, resource mobilization. Yeah. See, so this you can see the left-hand side meme or flyer. It was very popular in Indonesia during March 2020. And they said that many people they say, oh, this one is good. They said that we are all in the same storm, but we are not in the same boat. But then the question is that, what would happen if you believe it this way? If you believe this way, that's it. You will not do anything. But when you not do anything, there is no choice. What is that? Because the COVID will dominate the whole world. There's nothing you can do. You cannot help other people because you're reluctant to do that in the first place. The way we see it, we say, no. We have what I call gotong royong. We have what I call sambatan. Sambatan is the form of the social capital in Java. The word sambatan itself, many people foreign about that because sambatan was almost extinct in 1990. And this is the revival of sambatan, but using internet, using WhatsApp group as the basis of the social capital. So, then we ask the question, will it be possible for the government to tackle all of this problem by themselves? The answer is no. The government doesn't have any resources to do it all alone. We have to participate. This is the most important thing. Why? Because the government only has 1/6 of the resources. The GDP is 100%, but the budget, the government budget is just only, state budget is just only 1/6. So where about the 5th of a 6 resources is within us. But it is not necessarily in terms of money. Now, this is the most important thing. Many people think that the resources is related to money. We as economists, we said, no. Resources is in many forms. It is not necessarily in money. But then how we can mobilize the resources, non-monetary resources, in order to support ourselves. Is it possible? It's possible. Okay? Now, this is the Sonjo. So our focus is, our mission is basically we help vulnerable people and people at risk owing to the pandemic COVID-19. And the values is the integrity, transparency, empathy, and synergy. Okay? And we have a hashtag, it's called Ora Ono Sing Keri, no one left behind. That's basically it. Yeah. And you can check it in sonjo.id, that's our website, and you can see all kind of a program that we have undergone so far. And up until now, we have 2,300 members, divided into 29 WhatsApp group. So we just work with the WhatsApp group. Yeah. These are all of the 29 WhatsApp group. Okay, and not only in Yogyakarta, but also we work with our colleague in Magelang, and also Pati, Demak, Jepara, and then Bogor, Jakarta, and then Oku Timur, and lastly is in Sulawesi Tenggara. Yeah, so we work collaboratively with other societies in here, and if you can see this is the relationship between the epi curve and how the emergence of the WhatsApp group, you can see it like that. So basically what we're trying to do is that we're trying to follow the problem that emerged during the COVID-19 pandemic, and then we're trying to find the solution or alternative solution on that. Now this is the program in economy. I just want to, we have a 7 program in economy, and only 1 program we cannot continue because it's outdated, which is the database. The database for the food and culinary database. We don't continue it because we have other programs that can it can be more useful than that. Okay. So what is the idea? The idea is simple. Because of the pandemic, you cannot do you cannot mobilize, you cannot do make any crowd or whatsoever. So you have to use the health protocol. Then the question is that how to mobilize the economy with that kind of circumstances. Okay, that's the challenge. So how you do it? It's simple. Use the WhatsApp group. Invite many people to the WhatsApp group, and then start making, ask people to say, okay, what do you have? What you can sell? Oh, I'm selling this and I'm selling that, and then we talk to we spread across the WhatsApp group, and then many people said, oh, okay, oh, this is interesting. Let me try to buy from that. Okay, and so starting from the simple thing, we can transform the transaction from physical transaction to digital transaction, yeah, to online transaction. And then afterward, we also have what I call etalase pasar sonjo. This is the showcase. Yeah. So we put it in a, you can install it in your mobile phone. So if people want to buy anything, you can buy from food, you can buy clothing, you know, anything is in there. And it's free. Everything in Sonjo is free, and it's open to everybody to put the, to sell anything in there. Okay? And lastly, we have what I call the Sonjo Pasar Desa. This is the link between the shelter that we developed for the COVID-19 patient. Of course, they need consumption. So how to supply them with healthy food. So this is the link between us, Sonjo, and pasardesa.id. So pasardesa.id is supplying the healthy food. So what does it mean by healthy food? No instant noodle, no flour. So this is part of the deal that we have. So we add in there is vegetables, fish, and also fruit. There's a majority in there. Okay. So this is the link. Okay. So this is the aim is how to support the micro and small enterprise to transform to the digital transformation. But then the question is that now this is the problem. So if you see the left-hand side, that is the problem that that has been faced by most of the MSE. Yeah. So many micro and small enterprises, they do have the smart mobile phone. Everybody has a smart mobile phone. But the question is that how do they use it? They only use it for WhatsApp and SMS and telephone. That's it. Now we're trying to promote now that you can use your, the mobile phone for your businesses. Now this is the thing that we need to do. And also most of the MSE basically is in bottom there in terms of the digital acquisition. But then we need to promote them into the level that is sufficient for them to run a business and also to advertise their product using the social media. Oh, sorry. Next. Sorry. There you go. So how we do this? Back to the theory again. Yeah. Use the theory, use the knowledge that we have, and then back to the theory, and then afterward you see the situation. You have a theory in one side, you have the situation of the field on the other side. Then what you need to do is how to design an intervention that it is related to the theory, you're using the theory, but related to the situation that you have in the field. Now, this is what the situation. So basically, we use a progressive web app for the showcase MSME, and then community-based marketing, peer learning through social network. Now, this is very important, learning from each other. Again, this is free, yeah, and online marketing tutorials. So we do all of those things. Okay. Now, so this is the online marketing tutorial. So basically, we just ask a question, is there anybody can use Canva, for instance? And then will it be possible for you to create the only 3 minutes on how to use Canva. And then somebody said, oh yeah, I will do it. Just wait tomorrow morning. And then the guy sent the 3-minute videos on how to make a poster in the Canva, and then we share it to everybody. And then everybody start learning. And then some of them called me and they said, no, I'm sorry, I cannot sleep for 2 days. Why? Because I'm learning on how to create a poster in Canva. But once they made it, they just spread across and, through social media, and some of the, micro enterprises that almost collapsed, they managed to revive again. And this is a true story. I cannot make up a story or anything. No, this is a true story. Yeah. So we can do that. See? Now, then from that, we use the progressive showcase. This is what I call the Etalase Pasar Sonjo, or the EPS. Yeah. So Etalase Pasar Sonjo is basically for this is based on the Glides app. And the Glides app is basically for the address book. Of course, it's free. Yeah. And then for the address book, the wonderful thing with the address book is that you can put the photo in there, you can put the poster in there, and then you put the numbers and everything. Voila. This become the showcase for them. Okay. And then community-based marketing. Yeah. We use something like this. And then we open as well our website. So basically the cost of Sonjo is just only 2 things. One is to hire, we ran the Zoom, yeah, and the internet. That's it. The website. That's it. The rest is free. Okay. Here you go. And then, now this is the peer learning through social network is very important. Ask around. Is there any skills that you have and you can share with us? And then they're willing to share. And when they share it, we put in a Zoom, and then we use the YouTube for the, for all of the recording we put in the YouTube, and then we share it to everybody. So it's a wonderful way. And it's, again, free. Yeah. So this is the event that we have. Okay, so motivating the graduation approach. So, so we have now the Sonjo Export Community and also Hamperfest. This is for the Hamper Festival. Okay, so I can skip now. This is the 13th program in health. Yeah, and the interesting thing is that in how we can achieve this kind of stuff. It's very simple actually, because if you have 50 people in the WhatsApp group, then let them talk. Yeah? The first thing that you will encounter is that everybody talking about their problem and asking how to solve their problem. So we talk about the demand. Okay? Wait until 1 week and then ask them how to solve it. And then they come up with the solution. Okay, well, I think I can do this, I can do that, I can do this. In the 3rd week, all of the problems solved. Because the demand for problem solving meet with the supply of problem solver. So this is the situation. Okay? So, now, how to develop the program? When you develop the program, it's simple. It depends on the problem that has been raised by members. And we also have Sonjo Angkringan. Sonjo Angkringan is basically weekly webinar that we hold it in order to discuss any problem regarding to the COVID. And sometimes from there, we come up with the idea of having a particular program. And then if people need training, then we have what I call Sanjo Mikunani, which is peer learning among us. Yeah? And afterward, we can extend it to other areas. Okay? So we start with this. Now this is the problem that we have in December 2020, whereby it was difficult for our colleague in a hospital to refer to other hospital. And the problem is because of the apps that the government has is not adequate. So we solve it by offering, in game theory we call it as a double auction. And we use WhatsApp group to solve the problem. It's just using WhatsApp group, Excel, and what I call the double auction in order to help hospital to refer the patient. So this is the situation. So we have 150 patients that underwent to the system at that time. And also we support the system that has been promoted by Dinkes Bantul, the health office of Bantul, and they have what I call the shelter. So they have a multi-shelter. They have a shelter in the sub-village, to the village, and then a regency, and then they also have a temporary hospital and also designated hospital. So what's going on is that if your patient is getting worse, so you refer up, but then if some patient is better off, they have to be referred down. So we have like a dual referral system. And this one helped. It's worked perfectly in the first, during the first wave, but the second wave, we cannot stand it. It's almost collapsed because the number of the referral at that time in the second wave, it's just enormous. We don't know what's going on in the third wave, Omicron that we're facing, but we're trying in Sonjo to promote people prepare about the third wave since 2 months ago. Okay, so this is the shelter, and there's a type of shelter, and also where's the distribution. It's not only we built in Yogyakarta, but also we're trying to work with the community in Jakarta, Bogor, Kudus, Pati, Jepara, and also in Madura. Yeah. And also we have the Sonjo Husodo Tangguh here. This is for a charity, basically. So far we held 50 shelters in Bantul, Sleman and Kudus, 71 volunteers group, 16 hospital and 780 patients who did isolation in Bantul, Sleman, Kudus, and Yogyakarta City. These are some initiatives that came up it was raised in a second wave. Yeah. All of a sudden somebody contacted me and he said, do we need coffin? And I said, yes, I think we can produce it for free. So this is the situation that we have. We have so many coffin in there, okay, and also the body bags, it's been produced for free. Lastly, we have what I call now, at the moment, we have Sonjo Tetuko. What is that? This is related to the mass vaccination. So the vaccination, you cannot force a vaccination as everything has to be the same. You cannot do that. The way we're trying to see the vaccination, it depends on the situation in each region. Here, on the left-hand side, why is it so dark? Yeah, because they do vaccination in the evening. That's our collaborator, the Sonjo Loro Plonyo. They conducted many evening vaccination, and sometimes they reach until 12 o'clock in the evening. Why? Why they have to do it? Because majority of the people in Gunung Kidul, they work elsewhere. If you ask them to do a vaccination in the day, they stop working. When they stop working, they're not being paid. Okay? So, in the first place, people trying to invite 500 people, but it's just only 100 people turned up. Why? Because they don't understand how the people way of living of the people in there. And when our colleague from Loro Plonyo conducted the vaccination in the evening, what's going on? The invitation is 500, but how many that's turned up is 2,000. And it's why? Because they stop working at 8 o'clock in the evening, and then they're traveling 1.5 hours back to Gunung Kidul, and then after that they start to do the vaccination. What a wonderful idea. So this is the situation that we have. And also in rural areas, the way vaccination has been conducted in rural areas is different from in urban areas. In urban areas, you can do with everything with, online registration. In rural area, forget it. You cannot do that. But the good thing is that we can work collaboratively with Pak Lurah, Bu Lurah, head of the village, head of the what is that? Environment surrounding them, yeah, in sub-village, for instance, then it's worked perfectly. Okay, now we developed what I call the Vaccination Jimpitan. This is a crowdfunding vaccination, basically. Now what we're trying to do is we're trying to facilitate between head of a village and head of public health center to work each other, and then it's been facilitated by Sonjo. Okay, it's worked perfectly in these circumstances, and we have, in terms of the innovation, we have 4 types of vaccination. The first is Vaccination Jimpitan, yeah, the crowdfunding, and then this is for the VGA is for the children, VGB is for a booster, and lastly, the VGP, this is the Vaccine Jimpitan Plus. This is what is it, the plus one? Because we focus on elders and also the comorbid and also the disabled people. Yeah, in order to facilitate that, we involve the internists. And what's going on is happening. There are many cases that people said, oh, I was 10 times being refused to be vaccinated because my high blood pressure. When we trying to employ the internists, this kind of stuff solved. So this is the situation that we have. Now, in terms of the statistic, this is the statistic that we have. Up until now, we've done, collaboratively, we've done 361,000 vaccination. And for the Vaccination Jimpitan, we already done 153,861 doses. And the value of the donation is about 1 billion rupiah. So 1 billion rupiah for 50,000 vaccination. Yeah. It's very cheap because the way we do it is everything is with crowdfunding, everything is using the working together, using the social capital. Yeah. That's why it's very economized. Even the Ministry of Health, Pak Budi Gunadi Sadikin, last time he said when he showed he checked to our VGP and he said this is the most efficient vaccination in Indonesia. Okay. Now, so we also work with the other community in Magelang and also in South Sumatra for this vaccination, and also to Central Central Sulawesi. Yeah. So what is the goal here? So basically, this is not the vaccination itself is not the final goal for the vaccine Jimpitan. The ultimate goal is actually to prepare for the third wave, which is the Omicron wave. Why? Because the shelter only being built if between the head of the public health and the head of the village, they can work each other. They can work together. So far, what's going on is that they don't work, they don't communicate. But using the Vaccination Jimpitan, they start to talk, they start to coordinate. Now we see in the next few weeks what's going on, whether our program is successful or not in promoting the shelter. We will see, the time will tell us, basically. Okay, so what is the lesson learned? So this is some lesson learned that it doesn't matter how difficult it is, the situation, but we still can tackle the problem. We still can help each other. The most important thing is what? It's 1M. What is 1M? Mau. Mau is the willingness. Willingness to share, willingness to collaborate, willingness to work together. But then the most important thing in here is that what is the most factor that attributable to the success of Sonjo? Is one thing, trust. But trust is a function of integrity and the transparency. If you can promote that, both of them, you can gain trust. And if you gain trust, you can run the social capital like this. And what's going on is very economized. Lastly, how we transform ourselves from business as usual to bau to mau. Yeah? Mau is the willingness or eagerness. Eagerness to what? Eagerness to adapt, eagerness to innovate, eagerness to help each other. Okay, that's all for me. Thank you very much. if later on we can continue with the discussion. Thank you.
Yes. Thank you so much, Pak Rimawan, for a very exciting presentation. It is interesting that Pak Rimawan already proved that to do something you do not necessarily need money, right? From zero to zero, but everyone becomes hero, right? Yeah, that's very interesting. And this is also in tune with what Mr. Minister mentioned a while ago, that uncovered all the potential. So all of us have potential, and Pak Rimawan already proved it. He has 29 WhatsApp group. So your office is in the WhatsApp group, right? Right. And mobile office. All right. To the audience, we'll have break for 5 minutes before we continue with the discussion. Okay, you may free to stretch a little bit and take some snacks or drinks. Okay, see you again in 5 minutes. About to start now. Okay, welcome back. Now we are in the discussion session, and we already have 2 questions here from our friends in Zoom room before. Well, I think I will go first with the questions in Zoom. This is for Mr. Beny, and then after that, I would like to go to our friends here in the room. Okay. Pak Beny, halo Pak Beny. Pak Beny, are you there? Pak Beny masih ada, Njeh?
Halo, Njeh?
Njeh, Pak Beny menikah ada pertanyaan dari peserta.
Ya.
Jadi saya bacakan dulu untuk teman-teman yang ada di Zoom. So this is a question from Raudia in group 5. She said, I would like to ask about vaccine acceleration in Yogyakarta. What is the point that still be an obstacle for Bapeda to do this plan to the community, especially in rural area? So, Pak Beny, pertanyaannya dari Mbak Raudia ini adalah terkait dengan akselerasi vaksin, Bapak. Jadi, apakah apa sih yang masih menjadi hambatan untuk melaksanakan akselerasi vaksin ini, terutama di daerah yang rural itu bahasa Indonesianya apa ya? Desa
ya.
Di desa pengen ngapun.
Kalau di luar Mbak Aryani soalnya jadi harus tahu.
Buatan. Monggo Pak Beny, ada hambatan apa Njeh kalau untuk mempercepat vaksin ini di desa?
Ya, terima kasih. Jadi sebetulnya untuk Mbak Radia, sebenarnya untuk DIY tidak punya kendala secara geografis maupun administratif. Kendalanya justru karena pengertian cakupan vaksinasi itu adalah 100% sama dengan equal jumlah keseluruhan sasaran. Inilah yang menjadi pertanyaan besar, supaya herd immunity itu sebenarnya cakupannya berapa persen sih? Gitu. Nah, pertanyaan berikutnya, mengapa kok belum tuntas gitu ya? Jadi satu, yang di pedesaan itu lebih pada yang usianya itu lanjut, perlu dukungan alat bantu menggeser ke tempat vaksinasi, karena pada akhirnya vaksinasi itu kan harus terkonek dengan peduli lindungi yang membutuhkan bantuan kemampuan internet yang terakses gitu. Sehingga penggeseran dari tempat tinggal ke tempat vaksin biasanya memerlukan dukungan yang lain. Kemudian yang kedua, tadi yang sudah sepuh. Kemudian yang disabilitas, ini juga memerlukan penanganan khusus, gitu. Ya. Kemudian yang ketiga, ini ada masyarakat yang tanda kutip punya gejala-gejala klinis tertentu. Ada yang misalnya mohon maaf di ODGJ, begitu ya, ada gangguan jiwa dan seterusnya. Ini kan tidak bisa diequalkan 100% sama dengan jumlah penduduk yang harus menjadi sasaran vaksinasi. Sehingga hambatan sebenarnya tidak ada. Tapi ada kendala tadi, antara yang 3 titik tadi. Itu Mbak Aryani. Sehingga dia kan mampu melebihi target yang ditetapkan, sehingga untuk masyarakat, ya walaupun yang dosis kedua masih 92%. Cakupannya begitu.
Matur nuwun Pak Beny. Lalu kalau strategi dari Bapeda sendiri dari hambatan-hambatan yang tadi Bapak sebutkan, mungkin sudah dilakukan apa saja nih Pak? Misalnya tadi yang ada yang butuh alat bantu, kemudian masyarakat yang tadi mungkin punya stigma untuk masalah mental untuk datang ke tempat vaksin, begitu ada strateginya mungkin dari Bapeda apa ya Pak?
Ya, kita akan merencanakan bersama, ditanggulangi bersama. Tentu kita mengajak semua stakeholder untuk berperan serta. Tadi misalnya bagi yang sudah sepuh, tentu pendekatannya lebih mendekatkan kepada pelayanan masyarakat langsung ke rumahnya. Maka penggeseran kemampuan internet itu harus kami lakukan. Maka kami lakukan akselerasinya menutup blank spot di area itu. Misalnya begitu ya. Kemudian yang tadi dengan gangguan khusus ya kami melakukan pendekatan dengan masyarakat, terutama yang bisa menggiring adalah sampai ke level RT RW ya, karena yang paling dekat komunikasinya bisa membangun vaksin, bahwa vaksin itu aman dan seterusnya. Ini memerlukan pengertian tersendiri. Nah, kemudian akselerasi yang kedua menjadi menarik karena orang sekarang sudah mulai memilih jenis vaksin gitu. Karena dia sudah bisa melihat informasinya terbuka kaitannya dengan KIPI, ya, kejadian ikutan pasca imunisasi. Jadi orang lalu memilih-milih kalau vaksinnya enggak ya, saya tak pilih yang apa. Ini memerlukan pembelajaran yang luar biasa. Jadi sampai pada tataran itu, sehingga kebutuhan-kebutuhannya sekarang evaluasinya kami juga membangun kerjasama baik dengan kepolisian, ke TNI, kemudian juga masyarakat lain seperti NGO dan sebagainya supaya bisa langsung menyasar ke masyarakat yang tadi belum tersasar vaksinasi.
Baik, jadi melibatkan semua stakeholders, resources potensial yang ada ya Pak Beny. Jadi
termasuk di tempatnya Dr. Rimawan tadi ini yang ini kan berulang kali juga kami melakukan komunikasi aktif gitu. Material
sambatan. So for Raudia and friends, Mr. Beny explained to us that some obstacles that the government still have is regarding some population in the community who has elderly population have limited access to the vaccine facilities, and then also people with disability, and also population with mental health, for example, some stigma that they have limited access also to the vaccine facilities. But the government already have some strategies to involve all the stakeholders, the potential to approach them even into their home. So Pak Beny, ada satu pertanyaan lagi, mohon bisa berkenan Pak Beny sebelum jam 10 Pak Beny. Ada satu pertanyaan lagi nih dari Mbak Maya terkait dengan strategi tourism pasca pandemik Pak. Strateginya apa ya dari Bapeda terkait dengan tujuan wisata untuk market atau pasar yang lokal, regional, nasional atau internasional? Apakah ada strategi yang khusus di perbedaan pasar itu Pak?
Ya, terima kasih Mbak Maya. Jadi memang pengalaman pandemi ini mengubah perilaku hidup kita secara mendasar. Tadinya kita bangga banyaknya turis yang datang ke Jogja itu mendapatkan berkah luar biasa. Tapi setelah diukur dengan uang yang dibelanjakan, kita bisa mengukur ulang sebetulnya orientasi kita apakah ukurannya banyaknya orang yang datang ke Jogja baik dari mancanegara maupun dari Nusantara, apakah kualitas itu ditingkatkan ya. Yang datang tidak harus banyak banget loh, tetapi belanjanya sangat besar gitu. Jadi yang datang ke sini itu orangnya terbatas, tapi teknologi informasi digunakan. Jadi orang yang datang ke sini bisa menceritakan segala sesuatunya, lalu orang berbelanja gitu. Sehingga kalau yang pergeseran dengan pandemi ini karena terputusnya beberapa negara yang tidak bisa berkunjung ke Indonesia, maka penggeseran dari mass tourism ke quality tourism itu adalah salah satunya adalah segmentasi pasarnya. Kalau dulu kita orientasinya tidak hanya mancanegara tapi wisatawan Nusantara, tapi kita sudah mulai menggeser wisatawan Nusantara tapi yang berkualitas, sehingga datangnya bis banyak melalui darat itu menjadi ukuran tertentu kedatangan pariwisata. Karena kita tahu bandaranya juga tidak dibuka atau belum dibuka oleh wisatawan mancanegara. Kemudian strateginya yang internasional, kami lakukan pemasaran melalui jejaring internasional supaya kita meyakinkan kepada negara-negara yang atau masyarakat luar negeri yang akan berkunjung ke Indonesia aman loh gitu. Caranya dengan CHSE tadi itu ya. Jadi kita memastikan semua objek itu adalah terkualifikasi, lingkungannya terjaga, keamanannya terjaga dari sisi protokol kesehatan, kemudian juga termasuk bagi pengelolanya. Maka itu menjadi syarat utama kita bisa berkembang untuk memastikan pasar internasional itu mampu bisa kita raih di Yogyakarta. Demikian Mbak Aryani, matur nuwun.
Ya, baik. Terima kasih banyak Pak Beny. Pak Beny akan pamit karena jam 10 ada tugas yang lain ya Pak Beny, matur nuwun sangat. Monggo Pak Beny jika akan meninggalkan ruang Zoom. Ya.
Terima kasih Mbak Reni, mohon maaf Pak Rimawan, nyuwun pangapunten. Terima kasih semuanya. Kami akhiri. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. So for Maya, Pak Beny explained to us about the strategy for the tourism for now, as Pak Beny already also explained in his presentation, that for now we are focused on the local and national tourism destination, but the different strategy is to make a quality tourism, so increase the value and the uniqueness. So we don't need many people to come, but that small number of people coming, but they spend a lot of money here. So it will add value and economics for the Jogja community. All right, then can we go to the audience here in the room? Do you have any questions? Yes, 1, 2, please tell us your name and to whom your questions.
Okay, good morning everyone. I'm Ahmad Taqiyuddin and I'm a sophomore year economic student at FEB UGM.
Your student Pak Rimawan.
Yes, one of your students.
It's amazing, and I'm very happy that we have here in this group students from Faculty of Economic and Business. Welcome to Faculty of Medicine, Poliat and Nursing. Please.
In the future, I would ask to Pak Rimawan Pradiptyo, of course. In the future, COVID-19 could be considered endemic, and the impacts of Sonjo have prepared the community to face another potential shock. And Sonjo, most of the programs in Sonjo focus on generating optimal outcomes with a cost-minimized approach. And no funding is required for Sonjo, and the principal capital of Sonjo is trust. The trust, Sonjo always said the trust is a function of integrity and transparency. And my first question is, as long as the Sonjo programs are running until now, are there any problems related to the trust system, such as certain parties trying to take advantage, such as political interest or individual interest, and how to solve the problem so that Sonjo can consistently help the people of Yogyakarta during the pandemic? And the second question, how did Sonjo give trust and confidence to the people of Yogyakarta when Sonjo was first established, so that people of Yogyakarta want to collaborate with Sonjo? Thank you.
That's a very important question, Pak.
Thank you. For the first question, it's actually simple. We can solve this so easily with the transparency. And how we implement the transparency? We open everything in the WhatsApp group. Okay? So we have for vaccination, for instance, we have two groups. One is the Sonjo Srikandi 1 and Sonjo Srikandi 2. This is two WhatsApp group designated only for the vaccination. Now, in the first place, we never envisaged of financing the vaccination. In the first place, that we just do the vaccination as it were, like in urban area. And the problem is, in urban area, everything has to be paid. You have to pay everything. Even what they call relawan or the volunteers, in the end, we have to pay anyhow. Okay, but then at that time, it was it costs around, even if we don't take any profit or anything, everything is in Sonjo, no profit allowed if you're trying to organize this kind of a situation, organize a vaccination. So what you do is just only ad cost. And even when we do the ad cost, for 1,000 dose, we need about 20 to 24 million rupiahs, because you have to pay everything. Okay. But then when we come up, and then Dr. Glory from the Puskesmas Bambang Lipuro, and then he said, Pak Rim, I was thinking about how we do the mass vaccination, but not in rural area, but I can try to do it. Will it be possible to do it in rural area? Not in urban area, but in rural area. How we can do it. And then they do what I call the pilot project. And in the pilot project, who pay the pilot project? They pay themselves. So they use their out of pocket between Dr. Glory and head of a village. And the cost, they said, they reported to me, no, the cost is just only 4,500 rupiah per dose. It's very cheap. But then I have an argument with them. Okay, if that is the case, then one, we can try to promote it in Sonjo that will it be possible for everybody to chip in, to donate? That is the first idea. But second, I said, we cannot use 4,500 rupiah as the standard. And you say, why is it you cannot do that? And then I said, because you are all marvel. You are, like a Dr. Glory, Bu Ani, they are the marvel. So if all of the marvel to the pilot project, that will be biased because it's very, very efficient. And then we have, I think, about 2 or 3 hours discussion in WhatsApp group, in private WhatsApp, because at that time I proposed 7,500. Pak Glory doesn't want to accept that. That's still in 4,500. So in the end, we come up after 3 hours, we come up with the figure of 6,000. Because I said to Pak Glory, look, Pak Glory, what would happen if we trying to implement this elsewhere, not in Babang Lipuro? The situation is different. So we need to allow some kind of, differences in the 6,000 is still acceptable. It is still efficient. And even by the Ministry of Health, he said that our vaccination is the cheapest, the most efficient in Indonesia. Now, back again, is there anybody who can take advantages of this program? No. Why? Because start from the beginning, when they're trying to submit the proposal, they submit in the WhatsApp. So everybody knows. Everybody knows about that. And then when we do the auction of who will support, it's also in WhatsApp. And lastly, after they do the vaccination, they have to send the report. Also, it's open in WhatsApp. There was something occur like this. If somebody put the proposal a bit too high, and then other head of a village said, I think it's too expensive for this guy, for this time. I think you can reduce this, and this much, for instance. Mm-hmm. It's happening. It's happening in Sonjo. This is the way we're trying to control. So who controls this? Is it me? No.
Everyone.
We don't need to do it. Everyone will control it. So do you dare to put a proposal with extraordinary expensive in here, taking advantages? No. Mm-hmm. Even some proposal is still, 6 million. When it's been submitted, and then we have also team to scrutinize that. And then who are the team? The team is actually some of the head of the villages as well. And then they contact them. And then they say, Pak, let me contact them. And then they talk. And then afterward it's come up to 4,500,000. Some proposal there's 4,200,000. It's become 2,800,000. It's because of they negotiate among themselves. It's not me. So this is the situation. This is the interesting thing. And the second question, how to promote that people trust Sonjo? It's simple. You need to open everything. Yeah. It's transparent. So we talk from the beginning. This is Sonjo. This is the value of Sonjo, and this is the aim of the Sonjo. And so everybody in the WhatsApp group is the admin. So they can invite everybody. That's fine. So long as you tell people, this is the mission of Sonjo, and this is the value of Sonjo, and you enforce that value and the mission, the trust will come up in it.
Interesting. Thank you so much very much. So from the very beginning and the discussion, even until implementation and the evaluation, everything is happening in the WhatsApp group. everyone is watching, everyone discussing, everyone questioning and answering. So, yeah, everyone is become the control, right? Interesting. Any is there any following up question? Nope, it's clear. Okay, come to our second participants here. You need to wait like 2 seconds, yeah.
Okay, check. Okay. Pak Rimawan, I'm from Faculty of Economic and Business too. I'm from Magister Management.
Okay.
Hello, Pak Rimawan. And I just came to Jogja to study here, and I'm really impressed at how Sonjo platform movement works, so that I cannot find anywhere, even at where I live before in Surabaya. Pak Rimawan really know how to use the resource effectively and efficiently. When everyone have a sense of belonging, it will work together. Okay, I have several questions. My first question is kinda similar than before, but I really know how was the most challenging moment when Pak Rimawan start the Sonjo, like how to persuade and educate social community. It is hard, or did they immediately trust Sonjo? Okay.
Can I answer directly? Because, so we don't need to persuade anybody.
Oh.
You don't need to persuade anybody.
Okay.
What you need to do is you write the WhatsApp, WhatsApp, and then you tell, this is Sonjo, this is the platform of Sonjo, this is the mission of Sonjo, and this is the value of Sonjo. Now, you are in Magister Management, then you know that in every single organization, only two things that matters. What is that? Mission and the value. That's it. Mission and the value. Tell people, this is the mission, this is the value, and let people from your WhatsApp group everybody to be admin. So they can spread all the words. So you don't need to control everything. And whoever join to your WhatsApp, they agree with the value and also the mission. And the first thing that we get rid of in Sonjo is that about financial thing. We said in Sonjo, there is no money involved in Sonjo. There is no, we cannot accept the money. So you may ask a question, what about the vaccination? You said that the vaccination, you finance 1 billion rupiah for 153,000 doses. It's simple. We auction the proposal. We ask, who would like to help us? And then they put their name, put the money in there. They wrote the money, 500,000, 200,000, and things like that. In the end of the the auction, we tell to the people, we tell to the organizer, vaccine organizer, and also to the donator who will donate us, and then we give them the account of the organizer, and that's it. So they transfer directly. No money come to Sonjo. No, we don't have any account. So you don't need to persuade people. What you need to do is to promote, this is the organization that we work. Please feel free to join, but this is the values. These are the values that we implement.
Well, so actually that is really our spirit of the community, like work together, gotong royong. Let's start from there.
Yeah,
philosophies.
Yeah. So and what you need to do is to you promote the fact about what's going on in the fact, in the field, and then trying to promote the sense of crisis and the sense of urgency, and that's it. But you don't need to persuade people to do something. No. It's much more simpler than what some people thought. Please.
Yes, as simple as a trust. Yes.
Yeah.
Right, Mister. Okay, Pak Rimawan. And my last question is, what if someone want voluntarily share their skill or their knowledge, like before video of making Canva,
Yeah.
because I eager to, and will be my pleasure to share my knowledge too. Thank you.
Yes, it also depends on the demand. Yeah, the demand from the discussion in a group of Sonjo. There was a case in which at that time it was in the early days of Sonjo. There is a problem of the SME because they have culinary product, but then the challenge is that how to keep the culinary product last longer, but that's in most efficient way. We came up with several solutions, but one of the solutions that is profound is the vacuum frozen. And then we asked around, who did the vacuum frozen one? And then the Miletek at that time, Pak Hanung Bramantyo, Pak Hanung Sutibiono, I'm sorry, Pak Hanung Sutibiono. I'm afraid he passed away probably last year, yeah. But he gave us and he willing to share, Hanung willing to share his skills and experience of dealing with the vacuum frozen. And then we asked him to do it in Zoom, and there are many people in there, and of course he gave the method on the vacuum frozen. And start from that, many SME in Sonjo, then they produce the vacuum frozen. And they start, and afterward I asked them, so what about the revenue now? Oh, now the revenue is better off, Pak, rather than in prior to the pandemic. And I say, how come? Yeah, because now my customer is not only in Jogja, but also in Surabaya and Jakarta and every single big city in Indonesia. It's working. It's work. So when we do the PPKM, for instance, nobody in Sonjo, 400 SMEs in Sonjo complaining about marketing. Nobody. They don't say we have a problem in selling things. No. Because we give them skills that they require. And you need to facilitate this. So this is proving another thing as well, that when you're trying to promote, trying to develop the small, medium, or small or micro enterprises, it is not necessarily that they need money. No. Sometimes what they need is the skills and also the media. And skills and media, this is the one that we provide. How much does it cost? 0. Because we're willing to share among us. Thank you.
Thank you so much. What's your name again, Ibu?
I'm Daniar.
Dania. Thank you so much for the questions. So we give to the people from SMEs skills and also network, maybe, Pak.
Yeah,
network. That's very important.
Because the network will emerge by itself.
Right.
Because when you have a WhatsApp, now this is one thing that it's also some new development actually. The pandemic created new understanding about the communication and about trust itself. Because like for me and Pak Glory, for instance, we work very closely, and almost every day he or me either texting him or texting each other or even telephone each other. How long have we met each other physically?
Never.
One year after we work collaboratively in Sonjo. We haven't seen each other. We never seen like this. Everything is in the WhatsApp group. And this is a funny thing in Sonjo is that we have a mass vaccination. Okay, many people turned up, and then afterward they start asking whether Mr. X has arrived or not. Why? Because they haven't seen their face. I have something for him and I want to help. But who is the person? Yeah. This is this happening. So you can trust even with using a simple WhatsApp. It's built the trust. And this is the new for the communication, and this for decision making process in my field. This is a new phenomenon. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, actually it's beautiful phenomena and beautiful fact and potential that our community have. Maybe we can explore more to solve any kind of problems, even in economic, healthcare, and many other problems. Right. Do we have any other questions from the room? Or, yep, please. Sorry.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam.
Good
Morning. Still morning, before 12. Yeah.
Okay. Good morning, Mr. Rimawan Pradiptyo, Ph.D. I really like your presentation, and it's blow my mind. Thank you so much. But I have a question here. The first one is, how Sonjo monitor the result of the programs and measure the impact for the people involved in it, including society, health providers, etc. Is that any target of it from yourself? And the second question is, what motivates you to build Sonjo at the first time you build it? And is that any message for us as students here? Thank you.
For the first question, do we have any, now this is the difference, yeah, probably. When you start movement like this, we need to understand the situation. We need to understand the nature. The nature now, because our perception see this one as a war. So this is the, whatever, this is the emergency situation. In emergency situation, one thing that you need to do, don't put any pressure on targeting. So what is our target? 0. We don't have any target. Why is it that you need to put your target? It will make a burden for yourself.
Put you in depression.
Yeah, you will be under pressure for nothing, actually. This is not the normal time. This is the emergency time. In emergency, we use what I call the, what we need to do is just living day by day. This is what I call the delta, sigma, delta. Delta is a change. The big delta is a big change. Sigma is a summation of the small delta. So the big change is come up from the small change, but then you accumulate the change. So the way we do it is what I call the target is daily target. So what is daily target is like this. We're trying to work early in the morning, like 5 o'clock, 4 o'clock. Sometimes we work even in Sonjo, sometimes at 3 o'clock when we in the second wave, for instance. We start working until that. And then during the big wave, usually I sleep at minimum at 1 o'clock in the morning, because many volunteers are still working, digging the grave and etc. So I think it's not fair to sleep early. Because you need to check them, okay? But then before I sleep, I'm just thinking like this: what do we achieve today? What have we achieved? If the achievement is something very minimum, I said, thanks God, Alhamdulillah. I sleep, and then we start again tomorrow. And then the following day, and then day after, and etc. But it's never stop. That will make the accumulation optimum. You don't need to burden yourself with a standard, no. Just do it. But every day, but you never stop. So Lao Tse said that 1,000 miles journey is start with the first step. That's it. It's simple, isn't it? Then you don't burden yourself, because there is no standard for Sonjo. There is no burden for Sonjo. We just do it because I don't have SK. What is SK?
Decree?
Yeah, the decree of everything, yeah. Nobody pay me, okay. So it's simple, okay, we just do it. Yeah. So that's make your life easier. I think the problem is that why is it that this kind of movement in Sonjo is rarely replicated elsewhere? Because they see Sonjo as with the achievement, but they don't see the process of Sonjo itself. The process of Sonjo is very simple, and everything you just do electronically. You can laying around, but you still play the WhatsApp, okay? You can control anywhere. I can control, even I control now with the, what is that? The the jimpitan, the lelang. Yeah, we can do it. But then many people thought it's just like, oh, it has to be like this, it has to be like that. Now, that's the problem. Okay? What is the second question? About the motivation.
Yeah.
It's simple, actually. Well, when we struck with the government, prior to the government announcement about the pandemic, I actually, in February, I was thinking, I think that's odd that we haven't been announced that there is no case of COVID. I think the COVID is in here. And then I learned about the COVID, and that it's tell us something that's actually quite worrying for me. Why? Because it said in there, if you are comorbid, then your chance to survive only 50% in comparison to those who are not comorbid. I'm comorbid. I have asthma. I have also, diabetes mellitus. Okay? So I'm comorbid. So if I caught with the COVID, so my probability only 50% in comparison to healthy people. The question is that, do I know when I will leave last? No, I don't know when. But then the question is that, at that time, during the working from home, we have plenty of time. We have plenty of time. Then the question is that, what should I do? Okay, not doing anything is not the option. During the crisis, you have to do something. In a war, you have to do something. Even when you do something in a war, it is not necessarily you will survive, right? But during the war, and then you just stay still like this, when the bombardment is come to your environment, of course, you will die soon. Okay, so you have to run and trying to hide and everything. Even when you're trying to hide, it is not necessarily you will survive anyhow. So doing nothing is not an option. So we have to do something. Okay, so why is it? What is motivates me? It's just only one question. The question is that like this: what did you do during the pandemic? That question I will be asked that question if I don't live long. Yeah. So based on my belief that I will be asked in afterlife. Okay. But what worries me more is actually what would happen if I will live longer. If I live to 20 years more or 30 years more, what would happen? Many people, it's not only my child, but it's probably my grandchild. They will ask me, hey, granddad, yes, I learned from the history that there are many people died during the pandemic. Yes. What did you do? Can I ask the question? We will be asked this very question. To those who live in this period, will be asked the same question. By whom? Most likely by the next generation. What would happen if I spread the hope for it? Can I face the family of the COVID who died and say, oh, I'm sorry, I spread the hope. So your relative died. Will it be possible? No. Can you do that? Of course not. So I believe that this kind of question will emerge in the future. And the longer that we live, that kind of question will haunting us. Then the question is that, will it be possible for us to answer the question with the dignity and without any remorse?
All right.
Any more?
Yes.
Thank you for your answer. You're such a religious person, I think. Thank you.
All right. Very beautiful insight, right? So I think that's really a beautiful insight for all of us that we cannot just stay still. We need to do something. And furthermore, we have something. You are all here as a students. We can count how many percent. That's a small number of percentage of Indonesian community can go to college, and we have that privilege. So we can, for sure, we can do something for our community. All right. I'm afraid that we don't have more time. Our time is up. All right. Okay. All right. Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you so much, Pak Rimawan, for the very insightful and very interesting discussion. I think all of us learned a lot. And Pak Rimawan, for your information, at the end of this winter course, second week, all of the group is assigned to have a project to do something to the community. They need to identify what problems in the community, and try to think what are the potential that we have and do some project. All right, thank you so much and see you again next time. Bye-bye. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Alright everyone, once again give applause for Bu Aryani and also Pak Rimawan. Thank you so much for coming. Pak Rimawan boleh sebentar ke dalam Pak? Oke, kita ambil foto dulu. Bu Aryani juga. Thank you so much for coming, Pak Rimawan. Okay, so that was the end of the panel 5 of this winter course. And after this, don't forget to join the ELOC in the forum discussion, because your participation will be one of the course achievement indicator. Once again, don't forget to join the forum discussion in your ELOC, because your participation will be one of the indicator for your final course achievement. And then don't forget for participants that attend offline in this building, don't forget after this you have to doing the Genus test after this. And then for the Monday, January 21st, you will be joining the second practical sessions at the dietetic laboratory. You will be accompanied by Pak Tony and also one of the best chef in Yogyakarta. So you will be cooking some healthy food there. And then for the Monday agenda, for group 1 until group 8, you will be ready at 8 AM. And then for group 9 until group 16, you have to ready at 10 AM. And we will inform you more complete in your WhatsApp group. Okay, so see you on the Monday, everyone. My name is Jopi signing out. Bye bye, everyone.